Welcome back. We're on A3.4 now, and these are factors impacting the choice and use of operating system and application software. Simply put, we need to decide why we're choosing this system or this piece of software. It could be speed, it could be cost, it could be any other factor. And here we go. The cost will affect which operating system or software you choose. Expensive software may offer more features. Example, Adobe Photoshop versus free GIMP software. Now in November 2025, Photoshop and GIMP are very similar in the feature set that they have. However, Adobe Photoshop does have a wider range of features. For example, it now has AI stuff built in, so you can generate stuff and you can remove stuff automatically. So when setting up a system for someone, you need to decide whether cost is a factor. So let's say you're going to do it for students and the school has no budget left, whereas Adobe costs, I think, 20 to 30 pounds a month per account. If you use something like GIMP, it's free, it's open source. You can choose to donate, but you don't have to. Next, we have security. So software must protect data and prevent attacks. Operating system with strong security reduces risk. Example, Windows Defender in Windows 11. Windows 10 has now been discontinued as of November 2025, which means that installing Windows 10 on any machine that's going to be used by people to access the internet, you're never going to get any more updates for security. So it's probably not the best thing to keep using that operating system. Next, we have hardware and software compatibility. Software must work with existing devices and programs. OS compatibility ensures smooth operation. Example, macOS only works on Apple hardware. Let's say you're a company and you need to get software and hardware that will just work on any computer that you want. macOS is probably not going to be the best thing for you, and in some cases Windows might not even be the best. You might have to go to something like Linux. Most things, once you plug them in, they'll just work seamlessly. Next, we have features. Features determine how useful software or the operating system is. Extra tools can improve productivity. Example, Microsoft Excel has formulas and charts. Now, yes, I can do all my calculations in Word or on a piece of paper. I can also design my charts manually. However, if I have a tool like Microsoft Excel where I can put the numbers in, I can do the calculations using the formulas, and then I can generate or create a graph or a chart based on that, that's going to save me a lot of time. So you also have to think about the feature set of the program that you're choosing and the feature set of the operating system that you're choosing. Next, we have business or user needs. Software should meet specific user or business requirements. Some apps are for personal use, others are for companies. Example, QuickBooks for business accounting. Now, you might think that you found the best piece of software to do the thing that you need to do, but you might go into a company and they say, no, that's not going to work for us because A, B, C, and D. So before you choose any piece of software for a company or before you choose any piece of software for someone else, you need to decide what are the requirements, what does this person actually need the software to do, and then you can go and do your research. Nowadays it's going to be quite easy when you have AIs and Google being so good now. Performance is also a big factor. So software performance affects speed and reliability. Fast, responsive software improves user experience. If you think about it, how many times have you opened a program or app on your PC or your phone or your tablet and think, oh my God, this is really, really slow. I really don't want to use this piece of software now. And then you either try something else that's much faster and much better, or you're simply frustrated every time you open that one.